Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Friday, the 18th of April 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Right, let's see what we got in the show today. We've got this article here by Brian Doherty. This looks epic. Entitled The Red Button. So we'll have a read through that. CSW has also posted an article here. It's called Forgeries and Narrative Control. So we'll see with that one as well. And he's got some absolutely on fire posts here about what's happened to him and his wife being banned from trading and all that back in 2017 and all that, when, just on the back of him being supposedly Satoshi, but the court has said he's not. So play that to his advantage. We've got a post here from WallStreetBets, who has brought up the fact that BSV blockchain partnered with FT Live at the WEF. I don't know if that's the previous one that was back in January, or whether there's a new one coming out. I think it might have been the one back in January, but we'll discuss that. Then we've got an article here from Cointelegraph saying Bitcoin whale absorbs 300% of newly mined BTC supply. Is 100k next? Well, looking at the price here, I mean, this is Bitcoin versus Gradecoin, and Gradecoin ain't doing too well. Not today, and that article's only 2 hours old, so we'll see what's going on there. We've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history to catch up on, and then that'll be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
See Satoshi like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go, rock and roll. Right, I'm looking forward to this one. So, the red button. Blockchain blackmail and the chain of events that may have cost a life. Alright. Quote here. They FaceTime with guns, leaked addresses, sold bank accounts. The chain doesn't forget. Oof. Sounds intense. The internet loves chaos, but sometimes chaos is a breadcrumb trail and someone's been following it. Over the last 2 weeks, Reddit detectives, crypto researchers, and social media sleuths, including myself, have unraveled a web of screenshots, threats, leaked messages, and blockchain transactions involving real-world figures and The narrative, now dubbed the Red Button, points to a disturbing connection between celebrity drama, a known scammer, and the potentially criminal behaviour. So this was a post here from Truth Labs, who goes by the handle of Boring Sleuth. He said, Drake the performer, Tron crypto wallet being leaked, along with messages tying him to death threats from a guy now murdered, is wild. A whole new criminal network linked directly to Drake may now be in the public domain. Oof, what stuff. Part 1. The messages that started it all. It began with a string of cryptic and violent messages. Direct messages surfacing showing a barrage of threats against a man named Julian, alleged crypto scammer and live stream guest who publicly clashed with known Toronto figures. One message read, I put my brother back inside. It's only a mill to be a body. Goof, you're dead. Oof. See what's going on here then. So I'm gonna block your goof talking about kids and shit. It's only a meal to beat a body here. Hostages, pay for it. You're a baby. It's taught in history. Okay, bro, I didn't want to be your op. Go smoke a cigarette and enjoy your day. It's too late. You sent a message about my kids. It's done already. I'll get you whenever the time is right. Oof. Going on, A leaked DM referencing bounty-sized threats and personal messages. The threats escalated not just in words, but in geography. So, must be addresses or something. Part 2, physical locations and FaceTime fear. Soon, images of Julian's home began circulating in private Telegram threads. One screenshot showed a message saying, "She's dead, lol. Watch what happens next." Telegram screenshot with a photo of a residence tied to the threats. So this is a screenshot. Watch what else what happens. Put my brother back inside. Goofy dead. Go and tape that girl. Getting. Great. I warned him. When we find out who it was, they'll all did. Bitches being his downfall. He didn't listen. I'll get you for him. We have all your cash. Don't forget. But it didn't stop there. FaceTime screenshots revealed men, faces blurred, holding guns directly at the camera. A freeze frame of a firearm being shown on a FaceTime call. 2 men on a video call appearing armed, confident and live. Alright. These weren't jokes, these were warnings. Part 3, follow the money on the blockchain. Soon after, a Tron blockchain wallet was unearthed. Received 2.2 million USDT, over 2,200 transactions, current balance 76,000, first activity September 22nd, 2023. That's the address. Total received 2,200,000. Oof, that's a lot of money. The wallet's activity coincided with the alleged hacking of Julian's account, which was reportedly ransomed. Drake, according to multiple stream comments and one audio file, claimed he had the password. The speculation, he paid the hacker. Part 4, the DM that changed everything. Then came a leak, an Instagram DM asking someone to leak crypto address, please. That's a house. Blockchain analyst traced one specific transaction, 1,000 USD payment, from a known wallet to the hacker at the time Julian's account was reclaimed. Redditor user War General NLU mapped the transactions. The trail, too neat to ignore. The RICO writes itself. Part 5, the black market connection. Parallel to the threats and the crypto tracing, screenshots from Telegram group Walhalla Walter surfaced. These images listed Canadian bank accounts, CIBC, TD, RBC, for sale with account access, SINs, bill pay information, login and password combos. Screenshots of the dark banking market menu. This wasn't just gang intimidation, this was a system. Part 6, occult overlay and the Lucifer chat. Another dimension to the chaos arrived via a user labeled Lucifer, who messaged Julian, and the message read, better hope I don't get inside the condo, RIP GGS, hail Lucifer. Unsettling symbolism and threats intermingled in leaked messages. Try your best. Better hope I don't get inside the condo. You don't even care about her. Just a pawn, you sick F. 666, hail Lucifer. My brother's still wearing a watch. Yeah. The symbolism may be bravado, but it adds a chilling flavour to the escalation. Part 7, Julian goes dark. Julian, last seen on stream arguing with Top 5 and accusing Drake of fraud, hasn't been seen publicly since. If true, we now have Drake's wallet and 2,200 plus transactions to follow, said Reddit user. Multiple users have speculated that Julian may be dead, though no official confirmation has surfaced. The circumstances around his silence, paired with escalating threats and blockchain-linked payments, leave many pointing fingers and many more watching. Commenters turned investigators. The Reddit thread has exposed with commentary that virals any formal investigation, with full transaction graphs, payment analysis, and maps of wallet transfers from Tron to Binance. The community is now connecting the dots across. Drake, Top 5, alleged contract threats, potential links to the death of XX Tentacoin, and ongoing crypto-based money laundering. Conclusion, if true, this changes everything. This isn't just a case of leaked DMs or online beef. This is the public documentation of digital warfare, backed by screenshots, blockchain data, and the trail internet refuses to ignore. The red button was a warning, it was an event, and now the chain is talking. So this says Grand Wizard Chat Nigger. The story is hidden big. Okay, yeah. Leaked crypto address, please. Sure. And it says transaction flow by day, incoming versus outgoing. Done by MEXC wallets. Here's a visual breakdown of the recent USDT transactions associated with the address. Each bar shows the flow of funds per day, distinguishing income versus outgoings transactions based on the recipient address. This visualization shows the directional flow of USDT between wallets, scaled by transaction amount, key patterns and insights. MEX Wallet is the most frequent counterparty appearing in both incoming and outgoing transactions. This suggests it may be the primary off-ramp or exchange wallet. Several well-known exchange wallets like Binance, KuCoin and Kraken are directly involved, often funneling funds to or from TNB4. This indicates the centralized exchange involvement rather than pure peer-to-peer activity. The TLWK address appears repeatedly as a fund source, indicating it may be a feeder or secondary wallet under related control. Multiple transactions are mirrored, sent in and out with similar values, possibly pointing to cyclical transfers or wash-like activity. One-to-one relationships dominate rather than multi-party or cascading chains, suggesting international controlled flow instead of distribution or obfuscation. You can now see the three major relationship clusters around TNB4. The MEXC wallet dominates as the exchange endpoint, Kraken and TLWK from secondary repeated patterns of interaction, likely a feeder or laundering channels. This chart shows the interaction strength. Node size reflects how frequently each wallet appears, and edge width reflects transaction value. Clearly, TNB4 and MEXC not only appear, but often move significant amounts, suggesting operational use or close ownership. Key observations from my research: 1. High volume flow with minimal retention. This wallet behaves as a pass-through channel, receiving large amounts of USDT and quickly forwarding them. With very little accumulation, that's a red flag in forensic finance, often associated with money laundering, as in like layering stage, arbitrage bots, exchange arbitrage, or mixer activity. 2. Known exchange interactions. The wallet has direct interactions with at least 5 known exchange addresses confirmed by labeling the public trace. The MEXC wallet, most frequent counterparty, 17 transactions, Kraken Hot Wallet, Binance Wallets, and KuCoin Hot Wallet. This high concentration of exchange wallets on both send and receive sides strongly suggests liquidity movement or off-ramping, behavior seen with OTC Desk, syndicate wallets, or bots running exchange arbitrage. 3. Highly repetitive counterparty. The address, the TLWK, appears repeatedly as a fund source, often sending substantial USDT amounts in matching or slightly varied denominations. This could indicate a related wallet, possibly same owner or same group, a feeder address from another laundering or operational pool. If both addresses are controlled by the same entity, this would point towards layered laundering behavior, particularly when paired with immediate forwarding to MEXC. Mirrored transactions. There are at least 2 mirrored transactions where funds were sent from one then back to the same counterparty with identical values. While this could be innocent, like a test, in forensic context it can suggest mixed cycling, fund cleansing tactics, or chain obfuscation efforts at a low level. These are often precursors to address attribution evasion, especially when using low-fee chains like Tron for cost-effective cycling. 5. Temporal clustering. Transaction timestamps suggest bursts of activity, multiple high-value transactions clustered within hours or days. This supports the idea of coordinated fund movement rather than passive user transactions. Investigative conclusion. The behavior of wallet TNB4 is highly consistent with the intermediary laundering behavior or arbitrage bot operation, particularly due to either the speed and volume of the fund flow, the mirrored transactions, high reliance on exchange interactions, repetitive counterparty relations, or zero labeling indicating deliberate anonymity preservation. There are also public reports linking this address to online discussions, labeling it as a burner wallet, possibly associated with a high-profile individual, as per Reddit's Dark Kenny discussions. This raises reputational risk and suggests further scrutiny may be warranted. Wow. Oh, yeah, wow. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed. Loving this. Bit vesties. They've even got the B, the straightened out B there. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. What's this? Live streams with Julian, who claims at Drake and Top 5 scammed him out of $2+ million. Allegations: $2 million scam involved in Drake and Top 5. Julian claims he sent Drake $2 million in cryptocurrency based on a verbal agreement allegedly arranged and facilitated by Drake's associated Top 5. The promises reportedly included Drake would follow Julian and his business partner on Instagram. Drake would appear in Julian's music video in Dubai. Drake would introduce him to Jenna Ortega. Wow, there's a lot there. There's a lot there.
I'm not lying to you. Anybody
Streets.
Yeah, I'm Drake's shooter.
Oh shit.
I'm not lying to you. Anybody disrespect Drake, I'm shooting you.
Damn. Streets.
Who says that on social media? Yeah, good question. Yeah, lunchtime reading. Jeepers. What's this one? GameStop definitely going to buy Bitcoin, genuine Bitcoin BSV, because they need it for a hand cash app Game Boy, so we can play digital. Big Crash has said here, GameStop may buy BSV instead of BTC. Might spark a firecracker in a sailor's bum. And what's this all about then? So the post suggests a potential short squeeze on Bitcoin BSV where traders betting against the price might be forced to buy, driving it up. Due to attention from the WallStreetBets community, known for sparking such events like the 2021 GameStop surge, Bitcoin SV, a cryptocurrency forked from Bitcoin Cash in 2018, aims for scalability with low fees, and recent posts link its momentum to enterprise adoption discussions at high-profile events like the World Economic Forum. Historical data shows BSV's price can spike rapidly, as seen in a 60% pump in 2023, driven by short squeezes, but its volatility and controversial founder Craig Wright makes such predictions speculative. I wouldn't say that Craig is controversial. It's just the cabal don't like him saying that he's Satoshi, obviously. Yeah, brilliant. Right, yeah, so this is this leads on to this tweet here, but we'll get to that a bit later. Right, let's get on to Craig's article here then. Quite looking forward to seeing this. So, forgery as a narrative control. The first anomaly wasn't the content, it was the timing. I had written the file, that much was real, but the digital fingerprints, the metadata, the file headers, all had been touched, adjusted, refitted, not overwritten, but softened at the seams, like someone trying to restore a centuries-old canvas using plastic polymers. It was still recognisably mine, but only just. It began with a file I remember writing in 2008. I knew the machine I had used, I remembered the project, but the document said otherwise. Modified not when I had chosen it, and moved on, but years later. Quietly, deliberately, it bore the correct name, the correct structure, but it had been reopened on a machine I never owned, saved from a user account that never existed. That subtle, misaligned, like a house key that clicks but doesn't quite turn, was the first fracture. There was no single breach, there was no brute force. It was attrition, a slow reworking of artifacts designed to appear untouched. The files still bore my signature patterns, sentenced rhythm, spacing, the structure for nested headings, but the timestamps betrayed the lie. What was crafted in 2008 now appeared as if it had been touched in 2023, as if the hand that wrote it had travelled through time to revalidate its own work. And no, not with crude copy-paste edits. These were adjustments made through access to my actual system, edits made on my machine, files opened using my credentials, files that had never left my local desk until someone made sure they did. From there it widened, a cascade of small incongruities, a message that recalled sending, now missing its delivered confirmation. WhatsApp tailgate double click absent. The modified version retained the words but dropped the accountability. A subtle execution of content one line at a time. Then came the screenshots. Images presented in legal settings, positioned as if extracted from my devices, implying activity, intent, knowledge. But the glyphs were wrong. The don't know what that word is. Antanalyzing didn't match. The aspect ratios didn't conform to my system rendering patterns. Someone had recreated my environment with surgical precision and then failed to spot the half-pixeled shift in Helvetica spacing. To most, it would pass without question, but for someone like me, someone who notices when a space is Unicode U plus 00A0 instead of U plus 0020, it was as loud as a siren. They didn't fabricate a different narrative. They appropriated mine. The greatest deceit wasn't invention, it was impersonation. The forgery didn't declare itself. It borrowed my Candice, like mimicking my logic. It sought not to disprove me, but to become me. They removed delivery tags from messages I had sent. They generated browsing logs that placed me in conversations I'd never had, using tools I never used. A terminal log captured in what claimed to be a live session included typos I don't make, errors I trained myself out of 2 decades ago. Sloppy impersonation is easy to catch. This was elegant, deliberate, like a poisoned reflection. They understood that a courtroom perception outweighs precision. They knew that the theatre, they knew how to stage a document that seemed plausible enough to raise doubt, yet subtle enough to avoid full dismissal. That's how narrative wins, not through truth, but through inertia, through the slow, calculated layering of plausibility. The court system isn't built to scrutinise the glyph structure of a file. Judges don't pass hex dumps. They trust. The trust was weaponized. By the time I realized the scale of it, I could map entire folders that had been opened under my account at hours I wasn't awake, logins to Overleaf I hadn't made, documents altered while my machine was running, but with the lid closed in a room locked from the inside. They had accessed my system through the back door installed under the guise of a company tooling, a so-called integration framework, provided a support Terranode development. What it delivered instead was full access, keylogs, remote file access. Even my clipboard had been exposed. Files weren't stolen, they were revised. Nothing had been added that didn't fit. Instead, what was convenient had been trimmed. What was unfinished was rewritten. Where ambiguity existed, clarity was inserted, but the wrong kind, the wrong tone, the wrong timing, the wrong intention. The forgery was not a crude paste up of files, it was the creation of a narrative machine, a system designed to take truth and realign it until it pointed the wrong direction, like reprogramming a compass so that north always leads to the gallows. And what it stripped from me wasn't just credibility, it was authorship. These weren't anonymous fabrications, they were masks made of my face. I wasn't fighting invention, I was fighting in imitation. And that is the most insidious form of control, to be recast as the author of your own undoing. Well, that is serious stuff. I mean, we are talking deep state intervention here. If somebody is actually going to go in through back doors and literally just scrutinize the work and make these subtle changes that hardly anybody would ever notice. Like literally, you know, I mean, this is somebody who literally the amount they're being paid is not the principle here. This is not about funds. This is This is deep state stuff. This is literally like the central banks going up against Bitcoin, and they're all so. Whereas Craig in that in the video that's being put online, when he's saying I don't believe in the Illuminati and any of that stuff, well, that might be your downfall, because you need to start waking up to that, because it is real. The Illuminati was created on the 1st of May 1776, ready to infiltrate the United States on the 4th of July 1776, because when a nation has just finished a civil war, they are ripe for what's the word? Not infiltration is what it is, and that's what they've done. They control everything, and it's religious extremism. It's not finance for the reason that they do this, and they own and control everything. And they needed to get in, and now he spotted it. You know, this is literally government level espionage. Like, this is serious stuff. Serious stuff. I'm glad he's starting to wake up to it. Yeah, very good. Phenomenal. Another post here, fascinating one. He said, in 2017, I, along with my wife and family, was banned from trading BTC. Not just on the back alley bucket shops pretending to be exchanges, but on real regulated platforms, IG, eToro and others that once held some resemblance of legitimacy. Why? Because someone whispered Satoshi. I remember this. And suddenly that became synonymous with insider trading. That label alone, without proof, without process, was enough to justify locking accounts, freezing access and stealing liquidity. One exchange didn't just ban me, they froze £2 million of my wife's money. Not mine, hers, money she'd earned, held and managed, gone. Held in limbo under the hollow presence of due diligence, while the truth sat inconveniently on the sidelines. It took years, but she won in court. The smear dissolved under scrutiny. The truth didn't buckle. The money was never theirs to take. And no, before anyone starts wailing, I'm not whining. I'm not wounded. I'm free. Copra is over. Done. The case that so many hoped would silence me ended without the satisfaction they begged for. They bet everything on a trial to tear me down. Instead, they buried themselves. The freezing, gone. The bans, lifted. The shadow boxing is finished. Now I can trade, I can move, I can act, and no one gets to hold that over me again. And he continues, he said, one exchange, one of the supposed grown-ups in the room, closed £20 million in open positions, not on some whim of market fluctuation, but because of whispers, labels, shadows. Then, as if to add insult to institutional theft, they returned the value not as it stood in 2017, but as it had been in 2014. In 2018, a refund that ignored reality, ignored fairness, and ignored law. Other exchanges, in the same breathless panic, just quietly turned off my OTPs. That's OTPs, they're one-time passwords. Access revoked, money held, and the door slammed without explanation. Not a bug, not a policy, just cowardice wrapped in code. They'd ran from liability by pulling the plug and hoped silence would cover it. So no, I'm not sad to see them go. Their demise wasn't just inevitable, it was deserved. I mean, the amount of stuff that he's gone through, like, jeepers. Like, honestly, it's crazy stuff. Literally crazy stuff. Like I said, we're involved in government espionage here, which is what we're witnessing. So WallStreetBets is here, said BSV blockchain and FT Live at WEF. Blockchain's new PR stunt or genuine enterprise push. Either way, it's happening. So this was literally 18th of April today. So happening, didn't say happened, because this event happened in January 2025 this year. Maybe he's getting wind of what's going to be next year's meeting on that. I don't know, but he's certainly bringing attention to it. Look, 59 or 60,000 views on that. On that one post there will get people, oh, maybe it was that post that's responsible for this. It looks like it. Look at that. 18th of April 2025. It could well be doing that. Fascinating. Quick one here from Degan then. He said, there are a few months left before Terranode actually gets hash. Then BSV will utterly dominate utility like you've never seen before. It's just so much cheaper and faster than anything else. Simple economics. Oh, beautiful. Have that one a retweet, Degan. Loving that. Loving that. So Mortis said, what's stopping it now? He replied saying, SV nodes have all the hash. The issues there are well understood, whereas Terranode is all new code. So of course there are more unknowns. It must go through rigorous hardening and an extensive audit first. Once it's released under license, it will very likely push SV node off the network simply because they won't be able to keep up. Even if they cap block size by policy, the UTXO set expansion tests prove it's reasonably inexpensive to put the network into a position where only Terranode will stay synced. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Love, that's what we like. That's what we like. That is great news. That's made my day, that, Degan. Nice one. Nice one. Right, let's get into this then. So I thought this might be, well, actually, no, it would have gone the opposite way. So this is 2 hours ago. So Cointelegraph has said here, Bitcoin whales absorb 300% of newly mined BTC supply is 100k next. Absorb 300%. 300% of newly mined BTC supply. So 3 times the newly mined BTC supply. Okay. Be interesting to know what the supply is. So they've continued. A BTC price technical breakout is underway. Really? We'll have a look at that in just a minute. That could send that's Gradecoin towards $100,000 by May. Gradecoin's richest traders and investors are increasingly bullish on Gradecoin despite facing downside risks from unfavorable macroeconomic factors, the latest on-chain data suggests. Gradecoin whales absorbing 300% of new supply. Gradecoin whales and sharks are now absorbing Gradecoin at record rates, over 300% of yearly issuance, while exchanges are losing coins at a historic pace according to Glassnode. It's because the exchanges know what's going on. Notably, Gradecoin's yearly absorption rates by exchanges has plunged below minus 200% as outflows continue. This signals a growing preference for self-custody or long-term investment. Meanwhile, larger holders, 1 to 1,000 plus BT Gradecoin, are scooping up more than 3 times the new issuance, marking the fastest rate of accumulation among sharks and whales in Gradecoin history. This marks a structural shift as traditional finance increasingly adopts Gradecoin, particularly with the approval of spot Gradecoin ETFs last year. The result is less Gradecoin supply on crypto exchanges and long-term bullish conviction among big holders. Most cohorts are buying the Gradecoin price dip. Gradecoin whales hold over 10,000 Gradecoin remaining in strong accumulation territory, with their trend accumulation score at around 0.7 as of April 18th, according to Glassnode. Now, I'm not bothered about all this trade analysis BS. Balls the crap out of me. Show me something that's useful. You know, that's what I would say to that one. All right, let's have a look at a price then just quickly. So look at that. Bitcoin versus Gradecoin. Bitcoin winning. Bitcoin winning. I wonder if it is because of that WallStreetBets post. Fascinating stuff. Yeah, Gradecoin just trending up a little bit. But yeah, trending massively upwards on Gradecoin. So what's Gradecoin doing then? Yeah, look, it's trending down a little bit. Wow, fascinating. Fascinating. All right, there we go. Seeing that, cool. All right, let's have a quick look at the 365 days of Bitcoin history. So on April the 16th, 2013, Noor Rubini posts out about Bitcoin. He said, the Bitcoin bubble has appreciated by over 10,000% relative to gold in the last 2 years. So does it mean that we should all dump gold for Bitcoin? And he continued, in good company with gold. While everyone was focused on gold and silver, Bitcoin dropped another 40%, traded below $58. God, there's no, gold hasn't appreciated anywhere near that, obviously, but it just shows you the potential there. I mean, $58 in 2016. And now it's what Gradecoin's what, $84,000. Gold hasn't done that. 16th of April 2013 was an article here by the internationalinterest.org entitled The Bitcoin Bubble and Bad Hypotheses. Let's remind ourselves what this one was. The National Interest. Alright, cool. Liking that. On the 16th of April 2014, year after, linguistic researcher claims Nick Szabo likely authored the Bitcoin white paper. What a load of crap. Linguistic researcher. Give me a break. That's hilarious. April 16, 2015, the first Bitcoin Africa conference to be held on the 16th and 17th of April 2015 in Cape Town. I think that's where Craig gave one of his famous speeches. I think. No, I'm thinking of Rwanda. It wasn't. This was Cape Town in South Africa. Right, okay. On the 17th of April 2023, the Ordinance Council was formed in early 2023 with the goal of uniting the top talent in the broader crypto ecosystem and bringing them to the new frontier, the God chain Bitcoin. The CNCL token launched April 17th, 2023 as a fair launch token, free access to all with a maximum transparency. The council has 3 tiers of participation: the executive council, core team, the council, 100 of the top builders and creators in crypto, and 3 candidates, 6,250 top community members. In the next few weeks, the council will open up its doors to new members. Do you have what it takes to be a member of the council? I don't think. Be interesting to know if that's still going. I don't think it is. 17th of April 2024, so literally on the anniversary of Satoshi Nakamoto, debate flares as Ripple, a chief technical officer, criticizes Craig Wright. I remember this one. This was Diego Ryushi versus David Schwartz. I do remember that one. Ha! Brilliant. And then, the anniversary of the 18th of April 2011 marks the creation of the first altcoin. Namecoin was its name. It was a fork of the Bitcoin source code with modifications that allow expansion of the functionality to include more use cases. Its marketing blurb said the two shared many similarities, such as their total supply being 21 million. A Namecoin was later a community-led meme token on the ETH network, marked as a modern take on the OG with the one mission to flip the OG in market cap. We are not trying to get to 1 billion market cap, just 21 million. April 18th, the last year, a year ago today, Terranode runs for 24 hours. They're milestones. Oh, there we go. April 18th. There we go. Breakthrough. Terranode runs for 24 hours. That's the one. Loving that. That was while the Copa case was going on. Yeah, there we go. That's your 365 days of Bitcoin history done. We are up to date. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoy these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi@Sendme.com, Handcash.io, Rockwallet.me, Simply.cash, Relasia.com, or Senti.ch. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.